Hey guys, welcome to Sippin and Spillin with Syd from 3 Mississippi. Safety's off, guys. We did a lot this weekend and we had an amazing weekend. Spoiler alert, guys, I'm standing inside the chicken coop and we got part of the roof on and part of the floor down. And that video will actually be coming out this week. They're gonna finish that part tonight, finish getting the roof on. And man, we went on a little adventure. We got the side-by-side back. Melinda's back and large and in charge. And I went out on the property yesterday by myself for a little bit in it. I don't know if you guys can hear that. All the little critters, like frogs down here, because there's been so much water and the creek is so full. Gosh, it's a beautiful day. It's a little chilly, but not like, I mean, it's nice out. Like, it's not hot, it's not cold, it's perfect. And it's beautiful, it's sunny. It's not very windy, just a gentle breeze. It's beautiful out. And you can really, you can almost taste spring today. It's just right there. Like, the days are getting a little bit longer, sun's going down a little bit later. You know, I know our friends to the north there just got hit with that crazy ice storm, but it's starting to feel like spring's a reality. It's coming. It's gonna happen. It will come. For a while there, it just, you know, I know some of you are like, oh man, it's never gonna get warm again. It's never gonna be spring. It's never, you know, because it's hard when you're in the thick of it and you know, you're sitting under inches of snow and all that. I imagine we didn't have that here. We just had rain, and we're still gonna get some more rain before the winter's done. But man, it's just, I mean, look at it. It's so beautiful. I know the sun's kind of glaring, so you guys may not see that well, but it's just beautiful out. And you can hear the frogs, and you can hear there's a cricket behind me. It's gorgeous out. And I'm super glad we're really making some progress on this coop. Once we get the roof on, the rest of it's going to go a lot faster, I feel like. And some of my parts of getting that done will be up, as far as like the painting and kind of, you know, I guess doing more of the finishing touches, if you will. We're going to get some of that vinyl peel and stick flooring, whatever's on sale, to put down to make it easy to clean and kind of, you know, add a little moisture barrier, I guess, if you will. And you know, eventually those kinds of things might have to be replaced and things might have to be adjusted, just because there is a lot of moisture, whether it's from the water and the rain or from the humidity down here in the south. But you know, nothing lasts forever when it's an outbuilding like that. There's always things that you're going to have to change or adjust over the years, unless you spend an exorbitant amount of money on almost like making it a real house that your birds are just gonna, you know, poop in. So, and I don't know a lot of people that want to do that. They want, you know, all these people that are wanting to become backyard chicken farmers now that have never raised birds before in their life. Man, if you scroll across some of the marketplace, you know, Facebook posts or things like that, and some people are just going, oh, I want to get birds because I don't, you know, I'm tired of the cost of eggs. And it's like, it can be inexpensive to raise birds if you have the right infrastructure, and if you know that the kind of life you're living is going to be able to generate enough kitchen scraps and garden scraps and things to really minimize your feed bill, and you're going to be able to maybe free range them and you know, those kinds of things, to where you're not going to have some of those costs. But man, I think some of people are really going into it blind and not understanding that these things cost money. Birds themselves are not cheap. You know, and sometimes you can get lucky. I know a lot of people, you know, back where we were from in California, that did what we did, which was, you know, pick up and move somewhere else and to get out of Dodge. And they were posting their birds, you know, take the whole lot, they're free, or whatever, or, you know, take the whole lot for 20 bucks, which is a deal. But you got to remember too, some of those birds are maybe, you know, 7, 8 years old, and they're not going to be producing in the way. Wow, these guys are so loud. I'm walking down here because I just thought, why not? I want to see if we can see any of them. There is a whole big pool, puddle, pond. I don't know what you want to call it. Let's see. Wow, they're loud. I think they can hear me approaching. They're getting a little bit quieter. I'm just trying to see if I can see any of them. Oh, they got real quiet when I got down here. I'll try to see if I can find one sitting here. But yeah, there's this whole little creek that comes through here. And then I'll see if you can see. So there's a pretty decent, I mean, a little more than a puddle, but less than a pond, I would say, down here. And man, it's just, that's one of those signs of, you know, spring is coming. When you start to hear the critters again and you start to see the green grass coming through the ground here, and that's exciting. You know, that's really exciting to see the changes happening, and knowing that you know, these trees are all going to be full of leaves again soon. You can even see on some of them are starting to show signs of life again already, even though we just came out of that cold snap. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I don't see any. I could hear them, and I know they're right here hiding in this grass, and if I poked around I could probably find some. But how cool. That's one of those signs of, you know, life being renewed and things starting over again. And it's one of those cool things about being out in nature and just being able to kind of see it firsthand and experience it and appreciate it. It's pretty cool. You know, I think Frankie's next adventure will be going out fishing somewhere this spring and summer. See how she likes that, maybe. But sorry, I just kind of almost stepped in a in a big hole to avoid it there. But yeah, guys, yeah, we went out this weekend. We did a little bit of adventuring. We took down all the deer stuff. So be looking for those videos this weekend. You know, took down the deer blinds, and you know, spoiler alert for you guys that follow us closely, we actually had some people come on our land and poach a little bit. So that video is going to be coming out, and that was a bummer. But you know, hey, things happen, and we're going to be putting things in place in the future to, you know, help eliminate that before the next deer season, I imagine. But you know, it's hard when you get here. There's certain things that were in place, and then there's certain things that were not, that we're going to have to you know, add to and adjust for as we live here longer and see some of the things that need done or that need adjusted to fit what we need here. You know, obviously fencing is going to be one of those things. Finishing the coop, that's a huge one. It's going to have the brooder built into it. I've got our first batch of meat birds coming in April, which I'm very excited about. And then, you know, after that, we're going to have the sheep hopefully soon after that. And we're going to be able to really get this rolling. I know Mike is just itching to get that garden started and really, he's got it mapped out in his mind. And I know he kind of knows what he wants to do and how he wants to start. But, you know, we're getting there. And it's one of those things where we always joke about, because we feel bad sometimes that we're not doing things fast enough. We're not showing enough progress fast enough. But here's the thing. You know, when you watch some of these shows on, like, I guess network TV or something or whatever, where they shoot the whole reality series over the course of, you know, 6 months or a year, and then you see it all in, you know, 2 months of weekly episodes, and it looks like they did everything so quickly. That's not real life, you know. And real life, there's family obligations and church obligations and work obligations, and you know, it's hard to kind of fit everything in sometimes. And YouTube is one of those things where it's fun It's a great way to exchange ideas and to show what you're doing and for people to be able to learn from each other. But it also opens you up to, you know, a lot of criticism of things of, you know, maybe you're not doing it the way somebody else would do it, or maybe you're not doing it as fast as somebody else would do it that maybe had more time to dedicate to that particular thing than perhaps you do. But I think we try really hard to kind of take all that in stride and really, you know, pace ourselves. Remember, you guys, we're not in our 20s. We are not spring chickens anymore. And, you know, it takes time for us to do these things. And also, you know, it takes, you know, money to buy the materials and to plan it out. And the last thing we want to do, and we've talked about this before, is, you know, build something in an area where, oh shoot, when we have bad rains, that's where the water pools. So that's going to mean that that outbuilding is going to flood, or it's going to cause this problem for the animals, or whatever. That's the last thing we wanted. So we didn't want to go whole hog and just start building everything right out the gate, or to hire a bunch of people to put stuff in and then find out it was a mistake later, and then, you know, just show you guys like, oh, we did this much or this part, you know, and make it look like we did the whole thing. There are times where we will probably hire somebody to help us with something because it's either requires a piece of equipment that we don't have or an expertise that we don't have. And as self-sufficient as we like to be when it comes to that stuff, there's times where you have to ask for help or you have to hire somebody, and that's just the reality of life, right? But we try to be as transparent with you guys about, you know, what we're doing and how it's coming along. And, you know, with the bad weather the last couple weeks, with just essentially kind of constant rain, couldn't really work out outside with power tools and build the chicken coop. So we had to kind of put that on hold for a little bit and kind of worked on some other little things that were not really YouTube worthy, you know. And so it gets hard because you get frustrated, and we want to show you guys that we're making progress and that we're doing all these things, but it's hard. And then of course, you know, with it being Frankie's first deer season, we wanted to make sure that she had every opportunity that our schedules allowed for her to be able to go out and do it, because we wanted to put meat in the freezer, because again, right now, no livestock. So us having that deer meat was kind of important. You know, that was something that was going to be able to feed us for a while and to keep us from having to, you know, buy groceries, which saves you money in the long run, especially since, you know, Mike does all the breaking down and we do all that processing ourselves, whether it's me grinding it and making sausage or just grinding it into, you know, burger meat, or, you know, him just completely butchering it. That saves an expense as well. So it essentially becomes free meat in the sense that you are not having to raise it and do all of that. He had a wonderful time. You know, a wonderful activity with his daughter. They got to really bond over that and spend time together, quality time together, doing something that they both really enjoyed, that the end result of was feeding the family. And that's amazing. I know some people really enjoy sports and they want to, you know, teach their kid how to play soccer or baseball or whatever it is. And that's great. And that can be a bonding thing too. But it's a pastime with no end result that gives you any kind of sustainability in that sense. So it's kind of something different when you're looking at like hunting or fishing as your pastime, because you're able to then provide for your family. And for a situation like us, that was huge that she was able to do that. And I know that was a great source of pride for her. And we loved that premiere. You guys that showed up for that premiere or even just watched it since then without, you know, seeing the actual live premiere have been so amazing and supportive of it, and so proud of Frankie. I can't tell you how many people have said, you know, oh, you know, brought a tear to my eye. You know, here I thought I was this big tough guy, but I read through the comments and I wasn't the only one that teared up, you know. So it was a really great experience for them, and we were so glad that we got to share that with you guys, because, you know, like I've said before, there's things that we like to share with you guys, and then there's certain things that we kind of, you know, maybe keep a little bit more private. The planes are out today, let me tell you. But this was one of those things that we really wanted to show you the journey that she took, because I think we knew that there'd be people that would be like, oh man, that reminds me of the first time I went out hunting, or the first time I got a deer. And it's just kind of cool to relive those good memories, or to help people, you know, relive those good memories of their own, and be able to, you know, bring back that kind of nostalgic feeling of, oh yeah, I remember what that was like going out with my dad. So that's kind of cool that we were able to do that. But yeah, so I know no Mike today, just me. I'm sorry. We didn't end up filming yesterday our Sippin and Spillin like we normally do on Sundays, because we came home and from Sunday lunch and we just kind of got to work on the coop, and I was filming, and you know, that was kind of took up that time. And then I had to take Frankie to youth group, and by the time I got back, it was late, and I was done for the day at that point. Because I had gotten up real early to make like 2 big trays of venison pasta bake for Sunday lunch. So I was done at that point. I just wanted to go to bed. But so that's why I'm alone right now. But I will be filming them hopefully today, fingers crossed, getting the rest of that roof on and potentially the flooring, which then is going to open us up to that next step of getting some of that siding on. And you know, it's going to, I mean, it already looks like it's the start of a building. Where is it? There it is. But it's gonna really start looking like it's getting closer and closer to done. You know how buildings kind of go through that phase where they don't look like much for a minute. They just look like holes in the ground, because essentially that's all it is with those corner posts. And then all of a sudden it starts to come together. So I'm excited to really check that one off our list, because once that's done, I mean, it's fencing, it's, you know, it's, and now that we've seen where the rain settles, you know, where the water pools, where we have mud issues of the water, you know, setting, or where we have to be able to get vehicles to where there might be water issues. That's really helped us to see and adjust our plans accordingly for moving forward with some of our plans. Because, you know, we do want to build a tiny house out here that is going to be off-grid. And we do want to build a barn, and we do want to build up that garden, and we do want to build up the fencing, and be able to do a rotating pasture situation with the animals. And we do have to build a chicken tractor because we do have those meat birds coming. So, and that's gonna have to be done by, let's see, they come April, March. So by the beginning of May, we'll need to have that one ready. No, that's not right. By the beginning of, they're coming in April, March, April, May. No, that's right. Yeah, May. So by May, the beginning of May, that tractor will have to be done because they'll be feathered out. And at that point, the weather should be, you know, they'll be feathered out enough, and the weather will be at the right point that they can come out, and we can pasture them out here on this part of the pasture, and let them just kind of mow it down and move them every day. So that's exciting, guys. I feel like today's like almost like it's the beginning of spring, but I know it's not the beginning of spring, but it's starting to, like, noticeably the days are getting longer. Today is a beautiful day. It's almost there, guys. Like, I can see it. And babies, to me, like, spring means like babies to me, and renewal, and the plants coming back, and just you know, the next cycle of horrific bugs that Mississippi's are going to throw at me. I'm excited for it, believe it or not. So I can't wait. I can't wait. But yes, we're almost there, guys. I just want to tell you, hang in there. Spring is coming. The rains are going to stop. The cold is going to stop soon. We can all get to building. We can all get to planting. We can all get to raising those livestock that we want. We are going to do it. We're going to do it. Because you know why? Safety's off, man. Let's go. Bye, y'all. You have a blessed day.